This is Rebecca Boyce's book talk for Miss Pritchard's first period AP Lang class. So, Rebecca, what book will you be talking about today?
I'll be talking about The Fault in Our Stars.
And who is that by?
That's by John Green.
Okay. What genre is that?
Well, his genre is young adult fiction, usually.
Okay. Why did you decide to read this book?
Well, I heard about it through my friends, first off, and also through social media. And I had read one of his earlier books, which is called An Abundance of Catherines, and I really enjoyed the book. And I heard some other good stuff about his other books, like Paper Towns and Looking for Alaska. And they also have this kind of vlog site on YouTube called Vlogbrothers, and it's Hank Green and John Green, and they talked about it a lot too, so I was pretty interested in it.
Okay, can you give me a summary without spoilers?
Yeah. Okay, so basically the story is about Hazel Grace Lancaster, a teenager who has lung cancer. The story follows her everyday life, which leads us to her cancer support group. And that introduces the readers to the protagonist, or the other protagonist, Augustus Waters, who used to have cancer but is at the support group because his friend is there as well. So, first friendship develops between the two, Hazel and Augustus, but then romance comes between Hazel and Augustus, and the story sort of unfolds around that. The plotline basically follows Hazel and Augustus' journey to love and finding the meaning in life. And just as they think they've got a hold on things, life throws in sort of a twist. It's a compelling, raw story about a teenage girl and her battle, not just with cancer, but with everything else in her life as well.
Okay, great. Why did you like it?
Well, I really liked it because of how, raw it is, basically. And there was a lot of humor in it. A lot of romance books these days, or a lot of books in general, sort of sugarcoat things, trying to make it the way that people dream about. Sort of like it's a fantasy, but it's real life. And the way John Green writes is he sort of doesn't glaze over anything. He tries to make everything as real as possible, and that's what's great about it, because he can write about everyday life and what happens in everyday life and not have to romanticize it or make it prettier than it is. And so it's easier to connect that way and to just get the book more and enjoy it.
Okay. What lessons can be learned from this book?
Well, there's a lot of lessons you can learn from the book. Personally, it really just depends on where you're coming from reading about it. What I took away from it was to live in the moment, because you don't know when the moment will end. And also to be grateful for what you have, because it's a part of life that you don't get everything you want. And in the book, John Green wrote, "The world is not a wish-granting factory." And I sort of totally agree with that, because it goes along with the rawness of the book as well, saying that not everything's going to happen that you want it to happen, so just be happy with what you have and enjoy it.
Okay. What type of person or reader do you think would like this book? Or what age and gender do you think would be most interested in this kind of story?
Well, I think almost anybody could read this book, really, but it's specifically written for young adults. It's a story about love, so it could follow the only love stories are read by girls, but really anybody could read it. And it's not really sappy, so it's not going to be more feminine than others. And any age could really read it too. Any age, any gender. It doesn't include swearing, and like I said, it's raw, so you probably wouldn't want to read it if you're not okay with that kind of stuff.
Okay. Is there anything else you would like us to know about the author or the book or any of the other books that this author has written?
Just really to push the point that his writing is really raw, so if you're going to read one of his books, don't expect to be swept away with romance. A lot of the time, his books aren't just about romance, even though he integrates that into it. So basically just know what you're getting yourself into. Know that you're not going to read a Nicholas Sparks kind of book. It's John Green, he's different, but it's a good kind of different, in my opinion.
And would you recommend this book to your friends?
Yes, completely, 100%.
Okay. Thank you very much, Rebecca.